Emily Rivera's journey to Tirumala Tirupati began as an unassuming gesture of spiritual reflection but evolved into a transformative corporate phenomenon. As the poised CEO of Rivera Enterprises, Emily had grown weary of the lengthy grooming routines and rigid beauty standards expected of her and her predominantly female workforce. The idea to shave her head at Tirumala initially came to her after she read about the temple's age-old tonsure ritual, traditionally associated with shedding attachments and focusing on higher purposes. Intrigued, Emily decided to make the pilgrimage and invited any willing female colleagues to join her. To her surprise, dozens of them signed up, all seeking a respite from society's dictates on hair, makeup, and the time they spent every morning styling themselves. Their collective hope was that they could trade that wasted time for sharper focus, deeper unity, and an unshakable sense of empowerment. Upon arriving at the temple complex, the women were awestruck by its serene beauty. There were no men or children in sight either among their own group or in the areas they visited, so it felt like an exclusive circle of sisterhood. They moved in small clusters across the expansive marble floors, incense clouds drifting around them. In the tonsure halls, pairs of temple barbers greeted them with kind smiles, gesturing for each woman to sit on a low wooden stool. One by one, they bent forward as the barbers wetted their hair with gentle splashes of water, then swiftly and skillfully glided straight razors across each scalp. Locks of hair slipped onto the floor, shimmering momentarily before piling in soft mounds. At first, the women exchanged nervous glances, but those looks quickly gave way to shared encouragement. Some whispered jokes about no longer needing blow dryers or expensive styling products, others closed their eyes in reverent silence, feeling years of social pressure peel away with every stroke of the razor. When Emily rose from the stool, her scalp smooth and gleaming, she looked around for her close associates, Nia, her dedicated assistant who had quietly longed for a more carefree lifestyle, Dr. Isabel Kent, the high-tech visionary who had grown exasperated by the expectation to look presentable at all times in a male-dominated industry. Though men no longer had any presence in their daily environment, the cultural remnants still lingered in expectations, and Nadia Grant, a motivational speaker who had built her career teaching women about confidence but now experienced a deeper lesson of her own. Each woman emerged from the tonsure area with an identical shine to her scalp, yet each also carried her own story of release. The final step of rinsing away residual hair with warm water felt symbolic. They were rinsing away insecurities, societal judgments, and the significant time drain caused by daily hair and makeup routines. On the return flight, a celebratory atmosphere took hold. They giggled over the novelty of feeling air circulate around their bare heads. Several women playfully swatted each other's scalps, sharing comedic moments such as comparing the shapes of their skulls, teasing each other with nicknames like Chrome Dome or the Gleaming Goddess. Despite the occasional mock banter, no one took offense. They all felt closer than ever, bound by this shared experience and brimming with a mutual respect for the bold choice each had made. Some even began to explore romance with fellow employees during the trip, drawn by the openness and vulnerability of the journey. Soft confessions of admiration were exchanged during late-night temple visits, forging quiet sparks of affection. One pair in particular, Marina, from finance, and Celia, from project management, discovered a blooming connection as they massaged each other's newly shaved scalps with gentle oils, turning a practical routine into an intimate, unspoken promise of something more. When they stepped off the plane in their home city, they were greeted by a row of Rivera Enterprises employees who, in the absence of men or children, formed a close-knit circle of exclusively female staff and executives. The returning pilgrims walked into the corporate lobby with their carry-on luggage in tow, their shining heads immediately drawing astonished glances and excited murmurs. Instead of the usual hush of confusion, there arose a sense of triumph and curiosity. Women who hadn't participated in the initial trip gushed with questions. What was it like? Did you feel liberated? How much time do you save in the morning now? Emily smiled and responded that she'd cut down her getting ready routine from an hour of hair and makeup to a mere 15 minutes of skincare, an immense relief that gave her more mental clarity for work. Dr. Kent proudly mentioned that she was ready to tackle advanced AI projects at dawn if she wished, no longer bogged down by styling woes. The comedic undertone persisted in daily banter. Employees who used to spend breaks talking about hair products now teased one another about needing head polish or comedic scalp shine accessories. Within a week, more women from across departments, finance, marketing, legal, HR, wanted to replicate the pilgrimage. Some recognized the shaved head not just as a spiritual statement but as a strategic advantage in a fiercely competitive marketplace. They reasoned, if we can save half an hour every morning, that's more time for research, strategy, or even precious extra sleep to keep them fresh for the day. Romance also deepened in the backdrop of these newly minted shaved heads. A few departmental teammates discovered that vulnerability brought them closer, sharing cappuccinos after hours and swapping stories of what it meant to reject societal norms of feminine beauty. Slowly, small pockets of flirting, hand-holding, and affectionate scalp rubs added a gentle undercurrent of romance throughout the office, forging stronger emotional ties. The second group's journey to Tirumala was even more robust. Nearly thrice as many women signed up. The comedic side of the second trip emerged when two employees, Tara and Shauna, known for their fondness of quirky humor, brought along bright pink bandanas they jokingly referred to as post-shave couture. After the temple barbers had finished shaving each of their scalps, the group erupted in laughter when Tara and Shauna did an impromptu catwalk on the temple courtyard, each sporting her pink bandana with exaggerated runway poses. The temple atmosphere, typically silent and reverent, was momentarily infused with the group's gentle comedic energy. Meanwhile, behind the laughter, deeper transformations were afoot. For instance, a reserved data analyst named Yvonne found the courage to speak openly about her self-doubts for the first time in her life, forging a new friendship with a marketing associate who offered unwavering support. Returning from that second trip, the newly bald group kept the momentum rolling. They hammered through strategic business challenges faster than ever, brainstorming new software solutions, streamlining workflows, and doubling down on philanthropic ventures. The energy in the conference rooms pulsed with new vitality. No one fussed with hair or makeup, which fostered an air of seriousness and unified commitment. Their competition in the market was stiff, namely, another female-run conglomerate known for cunning marketing. In the past, Rivera Enterprises had struggled to keep pace with them, but the newly shaved women vowed to channel their saved time and heightened focus into besting their competitor's next product launch. For comedic relief in the office, some days they took group selfies of their collective shaved heads arranged in comedic patterns, forming words like bold or fearless from the overhead vantage point. The staff lounge was abuzz with inside jokes. When a supply of hair ties was accidentally delivered, the bald employees posted them on a bulletin board with a sign reading, "For old time's sake." The romantic subplots deepened, weaving in drama and comedic missteps along the way. Celia and Marina's spark turned into a gentle, unspoken partnership, culminating in candlelit late nights working side by side on crucial budgets. Their closeness piqued the curiosity of others, who teased them lovingly about being the bald and the beautiful. Meanwhile, Nadia Grant shared more about her own budding romance with a traveling journalist who admired her confidence. On the comedic side, some employees teased each other about scalp shape. One worker insisted that Dr. Kent's head was perfectly symmetrical, which became a running joke in weekly staff stand-ups. Another physically fit employee pranked colleagues by wearing a fake wig to a company party, only to ceremoniously whip it off in the middle of a dance, causing an uproar of laughter as her glistening shaved head appeared beneath. Action scenes arose in smaller but fervent bursts of corporate drama. One midday, a rumored data breach threatened to disrupt an upcoming product launch, sending the entire shaved head team into action mode. In a flurry of urgent calls, they discovered that a malicious ex-employee had tried to sabotage the system. The women quickly formed a cybersecurity task force, working late into the night. The glow of computers illuminated their bald heads as they scoured lines of code for vulnerabilities. With synergy fueled by trust and camaraderie, they thwarted the breach mere hours before it could destroy critical project files. The next morning, they celebrated with coffee and pastries, sporting triumphant grins that matched the unstoppable aura emanating from each newly shorn scalp. As the phenomenon carried on, weekend after weekend, more female employees from different branches of Revera Enterprises took the same vow. Department after department returned from India with identically shining heads, forming a sisterhood built on mutual respect and playful teasing. The lobby became a swirl of activity each Monday morning, with returning employees greeting those who had shaved earlier, poking light-hearted fun at the subtle differences in scalp color or shape, but also offering emotional support when anyone felt that fleeting pang of nostalgia for her old hairstyle. They discovered that the uniformity of shaved heads did not diminish individuality, rather, it amplified each person's unique features, leading to affectionate joking about who had the most majestic ears or the sharpest jawline. A major turning point arrived during a regional tech conference, where Emily led a dynamic presentation about her company's new AI healthcare application. 100 or so women from Revera Enterprises accompanied her, every single one with a polished, shaved head. The audience, made up mostly of women from different companies since men were no longer part of Revera Enterprises' circle, watched in rapt attention as they witnessed an entire faction of unstoppable, clean-scalped professionals stride onto the stage. The confidence was undeniable. Half the crowd was fascinated by their strategic brilliance, while the other half was transfixed by their cohesive presence like an army of unwavering excellence that had cast off superficial distractions. The applause at the end of the demo was thunderous, with attendees later remarking that the sight of so many women standing tall and bald was more awe-inspiring than any standard corporate suit and tie ensemble. Romance bubbled up amidst these events as well. In a comedic twist, Nia found herself the center of multiple admirers from different sections of the female staff, each enthralled by her newly discovered confidence. She had to navigate light-hearted flirtations, from secret love notes left on her desk to spontaneous scalp massages that, while occasionally awkward, also revealed a blossoming sense of mutual affection among the employees. One co-worker, Rosa, invited Nia to a weekend getaway at a spa that specialized in head and neck treatments, saying, "We should pamper these shaved heads, they deserve some R&R." The spa date turned into a comedic adventure of slipping around in herbal oils, accidental robe mix-ups, and uncontrollable laughter, but also a tender bond forming between them. Despite the comedic, romantic, and sometimes dramatic undertones, the greatest testament to the group's transformation was their unstoppable performance at work. Project deadlines were consistently beaten, innovation soared, and morale skyrocketed. Freed from time-consuming hair and makeup routines, the women found they had extra minutes and psychological space to devote to skill building and brainstorming. The teased mantra "Bald is bold" emerged as a company-wide slogan. Weekly stand-ups concluded with a cheerful chant of "Bald is beautiful, and we are brilliant." The synergy cultivated by this collective leap of faith allowed them to pull ahead of rival corporations in product launches, philanthropic engagements, and public relations. By the time nearly every female employee in Revera Enterprises had shaved her head, the phenomenon cemented itself as an iconic chapter in the company's history. Though there were occasional tensions like comedic spats over who accidentally borrowed someone else's scalp lotion, or drama from unrequited romantic confessions, the overarching spirit remained one of unity, self-empowerment, and unwavering dedication to excellence. At an executive ceremony marking the release of their newest AI platform, Emily surveyed the sea of shining scalps, reflecting on how one humble trip to Tirumala Tirupati had grown into a phenomenon that reshaped both her company and her own worldview. The moment she stepped on stage for her keynote, glancing at her fellow executives and staff members all confidently bald, she felt a swell of gratitude and pride. The crowd roared with applause, celebrating not just the success of an innovative product but the unbreakable sisterhood of women who dared to do things differently, to tease each other in jest yet stand as one when faced with challenges. In the following months, romantic storylines continued blossoming in various corners of the office. Comedic mishaps abounded, like the marketing team's accidental ordering of 500 hairbrushes they no longer needed, and drama flared up whenever new expansions tested the group's cohesion. Sometimes, to blow off steam, the entire staff participated in exhilarating team-building exercises that had an action-packed flair, from adrenaline-pumping zip-lining adventures to friendly martial arts workshops designed to enhance self-defense skills. The sight of a group of bald, powerful women learning swift takedown techniques was comedic in its novelty, but it also epitomized how unstoppable they felt. If any external critics once sneered at their shaved heads, they certainly stopped after hearing about the unity and unstoppable drive coursing through Rivera Enterprises. Ultimately, what began as 4 women's spiritual commitment at Tirumala Tirupati had catalyzed a sweeping revolution in a place once burdened by hours of personal grooming and hidden insecurities. Now, every hallway at Rivera Enterprises brimmed with shining heads and easy laughter, each shaved woman wholeheartedly embracing the comedic teasing, the sparks of romance, the surges of passion during big projects, and the occasional drama that flared with group bonding. It was a testament to how personal transformation can ripple outward, creating a collective synergy that made them an unstoppable force in their industry and left them feeling more alive, more unified, and more powerfully themselves than ever before.